Most investors pick monthly dividend ETFs the same wrong way. They look at the yield number, pick the highest one, and they just call it a day. The problem is that headline yield is one of the least useful metrics for compounding these funds we're going to talk about. How the income is generated, how it's taxed, and how much upside the fund can actually capture. Those are the numbers that determine what you're actually going to keep here. Right now, there are about 7 monthly paying ETFs, in my opinion, worth knowing, and they are not created equal. Monthly dividend ETFs have obviously exploded in popularity in 2026. With money market rates lower than they were 2 years ago, a lot of investors have moved out of cash and into these covered call ETFs looking for income. The ETF industry responded with a very crowded space now, but a handful of these funds stand out for some real reasons, in my opinion. The funds worth discussing fall into 3 structural categories: JP Morgan's ELN-based funds that use equity-linked notes, NEO's funds that use index options with Section 1256 tax treatment, and Goldman Sachs funds that use a partial covered call overlay. All 7 obviously pay monthly, all 7 hold equity, but how they generate income creates way different outcomes for different investor types. Now, before rating any fund, I always ask 2 specific questions. Where does the income come from? And what does it cost me in taxes and upside, right? The highest yield on paper is often not the highest yield in your pocket. A fund paying you 14% in ordinary income at a 24% tax bracket nets you roughly 10.6%. A fund paying you 12% with Section 1256 treatment, 60% long-term, 40% short-term gains, nets closer to 10.8%. Nearly identical after tax, despite a 2% headline gap. Account placement also changes this math further. Obviously, in a Roth, tax character is irrelevant. In a taxable accounts, though, obviously this is everything. So, JEPI. JP Morgan's Equity Premium Income ETF. This is the largest income ETF in the market at $45.2 billion in assets, holds S&P 500 stocks, and sells ELN's notes to generate income. Current yield 8.27%, expense ratio 0.35%, distributions are ordinary income, 1-year total return approximately just under 7%. This is the safe institutional widely held option. Best held in a Roth IRA where the ordinary income classification costs us nothing. Not the highest yield, obviously, but the most liquid and operationally stable fund in this category. Next, we got JEPQ, JP Morgan's NASDAQ Equity Premium Income ETF. JEPI's NASDAQ companion, $33 to $38 billion in assets, same ELN structure, but with NASDAQ 100 exposure. Current yield approximately 10.33%, expense ratio 0.35%, 1-year total return approximately 17 to 22%. Higher yield than JEPI because obviously the NASDAQ 100 implied volatility runs higher than S&P 500. Also, ordinary income, Roth IRA obviously is the right home here if possible. Strongest total return of the JP Morgan pair. Next, SPYI, NEO's S&P 500 High Income ETF. The tax-efficient S&P 500 income option uses actual S&P 500 index options which qualify for Section 1256 treatment. 60% tax at long-term capital gains rates, significant return of capital component historically as well. Current yield approximately 12%, expense ratio 0.68%. 1-year total return approximately 15.24%. Higher expense ratio obviously than JEPI, but the tax advantage in a taxable account partially or fully offsets that cost for us. Built for taxable brokerage accounts, not Roth. QQQI is next, NEO's NASDAQ 100 High Income ETF, the highest yielding quality fund on the list. Same NEO's index options structure as SPYI, but on the NASDAQ 100, current yield approximately 13 to 14%. Obviously, monthly distributions in 2026 have ranged from 61 to 66 cents a share, expense ratio 0.68%, Section 1256 tax treatment, plus significant return of capital component as well. And since inception, annualized total return approximately 20%. Taxable account placement maximizes the after-tax advantage here, closest to 15% on this list, and it earns it structurally. JEPQ, Goldman Sachs NASDAQ 100 Premium Income ETF. The total return leader here only covers 25 to 75% of its portfolio with calls. Goldman actively adjusts this overlay. Current yields approximately 9.5 to just under 11%. Expense ratio only 0.29%, the lowest of all 7 funds. 1-year total return approximately 26 to 28%. Less income than QQQI, but meaningfully more NAV appreciation. The right fund for accumulation phase investors who don't need maximum current income, but they still want those monthly distributions and NASDAQ exposure. Next is JEPX, Goldman Sachs S&P 500 Premium Income ETF here, okay? JEPX S&P 500 equivalent. Same partial overlay, same 0.29% expense ratio, current yield approximately 8.5%, a little bit more. More upside participation than SPY, right? Beta of a 0.85% versus SPY's 0.69. Slightly lower income than JEPI, but lower fees and more growth potential. This is best, in my opinion, for investors who want S&P 500 exposure with modest monthly income and the strongest long-term compounding profile of the S&P 500 options funds out there. And lastly, QYLD, Global X NASDAQ 100 Covered Call ETF, the original. Fully writes covered calls on the entire NASDAQ 100 portfolio. Current yield approximately 11.95%, expense ratio 0.6%. This fund has been around since 2013. But the trade-off, because this is fully covered on the entire portfolio, it captures almost none of the NASDAQ's upside in bull markets. NAV has declined over time. It is an income-only fund. The distributions arrive, but the principal erodes. Really worth understanding for what it teaches about fully capped structures. But the newer generation of partial overlay and the Section 1256 funds have made it harder to justify as a core holding. Now, on this channel, we talk about writing our own covered calls on high quality dividend paying stocks. So if you're interested in learning more about that, you're definitely going to want to attend the 90-minute Ark Options workshop. I'll leave it as the first link in the description of today's video. At the end of that, you also get my 15 favorite stocks under $30, my 2 premium calculators, and my full trade lock template. Again, that'll be the first link in the description of today's video. But look, these 7 funds cover literally every major variation of the monthly income ETF structure, right? You got institutional ELNs, tax efficient index option, and the active partial overlays. No single fund wins across all these dimensions. JEPI and JEPQ win on institutional stability and Roth IRA suitability. SPY and QQQI win on after-tax income and taxable account. JEPIC and JEPX win on total return and cost efficiency for accumulation investors. And QYLD is the reference point for what full upside sacrifice really looks like at this scale. The mistake here is choosing based on yield alone, okay? The right question is, what phase of investing are you in and which account holds the fund? Then the right fund really becomes really obvious here for you, right? I personally hold JEPI and JEPQ in my Roth IRA, SPY and QQI in my taxable accounts. I've recently shifted most of my NASDAQ income allocation actually from QQQI to JEPIC because I'm in accumulation phase, okay? And the total return advantage matters more to me right now specifically than maximizing some monthly income that I don't need. QYLD is one I've tracked, but I've only lost money on it in the past. The NAV erosion concern over years doesn't match what I'm building towards, at least not anymore. Look, none of this is obviously advice. This is just how I personally look at these 7 funds, given where I'm at and what I'm building towards. I got some questions for you guys down below in that comment section. As always, which of these 7 funds are you currently holding? And is it in the right account type for, how it generates the income for you? And if you're looking at QQQI's 14% yield, are you holding it in a taxable account where, the Section 1256 treatment actually helps you out? A lot of people don't think about this, and it's all hindsight. And if you are a beginner just getting started with all this, I definitely recommend you attend the full Ark Options Strategy workshop, 90 minutes long. At the end, you get my 15 favorite stocks under $30, my 2 premium calculators, and my full trade lock template. You'll see that as the first link in the description of today's video, guys. Remember, sell options, collect premiums, repeat. I'll see y'all tomorrow.